Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I am so delighted, of course, on our new channel, new time, and to be able to spend time with my good friend Len Fisher. He, of course, with Baker Communications. And we're talking about something that I was involved in last year and had an absolute blast and am looking forward to with great anticipation this year, which is Dreamforce. And we actually have some of the major players involved, including Len, of course, that we're going to be introducing here on today's program. Len Fisher, Baker Communications, welcome.
Thank you, Kevin. Always good to be with you.
You bet. Why don't you introduce our guest and our topic?
You bet. So, we've been continuing this series on igniting your social, mobile, and open enterprise. And this actual segment is about mobility. And I'm super stoked to have Sean Whiteley, SVP of Product Marketing, who's focused on social and mobile products for Salesforce. But before I introduce him and get him into the mix here, I wanted to talk a little bit about our show today. You know, there's a real major tectonic shift in the way the world is now doing business, and it's all about wireless. And, wireless is at the forefront of how we're taking our personal and business lives to new levels of mobility. And, I got to tell you, I can remember, and I'm going to date myself here, I can remember way back when how incredible it was to pay $2.50 a minute during peak hours for the capability of talking to someone on a Motorola brick phone. Those big, 4-pound brick phones that, probably gave us cancer.
Right.
But at any rate, we've come so far in so long. And, honestly, if I can't connect, communicate, or transact wirelessly, I feel like the service is below par. I don't know. Do you feel like that way, Kevin?
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really excited today to have a real industry insider, Sean Whiteley. As I said before, he's a SVP Product Marketing focused on social and mobility. Welcome to the show, Sean.
Thanks, Len. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So maybe you can just let our listeners know a little bit about what you do for Salesforce and talk to us about Salesforce's solution to mobility.
Sure. So for Salesforce, I run product marketing for our social and mobile product lines. I also run our small business strategy, and I'm lucky enough to work on some of our big strategic partnerships, those being Facebook, Twitter, Apple, and Google.
Awesome. And so help us understand, where is Salesforce taking the mobility solution? And I know you guys have been doing so much work. There's so much coming out for Dreamforce this year. I'm super excited personally to hear all the announcements, but what's going on with mobility in Salesforce?
Sure. You've probably noticed that there's been just a massive mobile revolution that's happened over the last several years, and kind of we're right in the thick of it. And we've been working really hard at Salesforce on trying to kind of accommodate the massive amount of requests that are coming in from our customers, because as the mobile platform market is pretty fragmented. You've got Android, you've got BlackBerry, you've got iOS, you've got Java ME, mobile web, Symbian, Windows Phone, the list goes on. And within each of these, there's multiple appliances and multiple devices that you have to support. So, it's really kind of challenging, and it's moving so fast that it's kind of like trying to hit a moving target. So we've focused very heavily on a couple of things. One, we focused on our core CRM application, and we deliver that on Apple, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. And we've also built a Chatter mobile app. So Chatter is our private social network, and we've built an Android app, a native iOS app, a BlackBerry app, and we've also built a native iPad app as well. Tablets is another thing we're seeing just explode. More than half of our customers these days are deploying iPads and tablets in their organizations. So we're really excited about a lot of the different sort of capabilities and functionality that you can build on the iPad. So we've focused very heavily on our social applications, and there's kind of this inherent relationship between social and mobile. You've probably seen some statistics around Facebook and how half their users access Facebook almost exclusively from a mobile device, and those users are actually twice as active. You've probably seen things like 40% of all tweets come from a mobile device. So there's kind of this relationship between social and mobile, and that's where we've been kind of heavily focused at Salesforce.
Yeah, that's great. And one of the challenges that I know, not just for great providers and players like Salesforce, but for the average business person, how do you leverage this new technology to drive business? And really, what does it mean to your customers, and how do they engage you versus how do you engage them. I mean, it's quite different. I mean, there's two sides of this coin, and I know that you and I were talking offline a little while ago about an example of a company who's really using mobility to the full extent. But maybe you can speak a little bit about those challenges and how some of your customers are overcoming them.
Sure, yeah. And, I typically break this up into kind of two conversations. One is our customers serving their employees. They need things like, centralized administration. They need a way to monitor and understand, like, what applications they're running, make sure that they have the security and reliability and availability that people depend on Salesforce for. But then there's also our customers who are building apps for their customers, not their employees, but their customers. And they're kind of two different approaches. So, we're really trying to provide a really sort of very choice-rich set of things that our customers can do. So, we're providing a suite of integrated mobile apps for one that they can use and consume information from Salesforce. We're also providing a platform. So we're providing SDKs and a fully functional mobile development platform so they can build applications either to use internally or to deploy to their customers. I'll just throw out a couple of quick examples. Well, Rehab Care provides physical rehab programs in about 1,200 healthcare facilities around the U.S. And, they were just basically looking for a way to speed up their patient pre-screening process. So they built an app on Force.com in about 4 days, deployed it to 400 employees, and they cut their referral times basically from, 7 or 8 hours down to about 20 minutes. Wow. And that's actually one example. I think the other example that's pretty interesting is a very mobile example, which is Critical Systems. They're basically a fire alarm inspections company, and what they were having is this issue where when they were doing inspections, the agent would leave the premise and then they would think about something they didn't think of when they were there, and they'd have to come back. So they built a workflow that basically sends inspection reports and gets them back while they're still on site. So if they miss something, they can actually approach that. So those are just a couple apps that have been built on our platform.
I'm sorry, guys. I got to wrap it up. It was a great conversation, though, and I'm obviously looking forward to more. We're going to be doing more, right, between now and Dreamforce?
You bet. That's right.
Lynn Fisher is his name. He, of course, at bakercommunications.com. Our guest today representing Salesforce, and you can learn more about them at salesforce.com and dreamforce.com. As always, it's one of the fastest segments I have whenever the folks from Baker are on. Thanks so much, Lynn.
You bet, Kevin. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Sean.
You bet.
Thank you,
Sean. Awesome job. All right, when we come back, much more for you right here on The Price of Business.
Singing songs.